The café in Madrid was buzzing that afternoon, tourists chatting in broken Spanish, waiters weaving through the crowd, and in the corner, a small girl about 9 years old wiping tables with an old rag. Her clothes were faded, her shoes worn, but her eyes were sharp, too sharp for a child her age. At table 7 sat Richard Turner, a self-made millionaire from London. He was in town for a business meeting, dressed in his custom Italian suit, gold watch gleaming under the sunlight streaming through the window. As he typed furiously on his laptop, the little girl approached timidly. "Desea algo más, señor?" she asked softly. Richard looked up, half smiling. Her accent was perfect, crisp, and polite. "No, thank you," he replied. "You speak good Spanish for such a young girl." She smiled. "I speak 9 languages." He raised an eyebrow, amused. 9 languages? Really? She nodded seriously. Español, Inglés, Francés, Alemán, Italiano, Russo, Arabe, Japonés, y Portuguese. Richard chuckled, shaking his head. "That's a big claim for someone your age. You sure about that?" The girl simply tilted her head. "Would you like me to prove it?" Before he could answer, a French couple at the next table waved their hands, struggling to get the waiter's attention. The little girl rushed over and took their order, flawlessly, in French. A minute later, a Japanese tourist asked for directions, and she switched languages as easily as breathing. Richard's smile faded. His laughter stopped. He watched her move from table to table, changing tongues as effortlessly as flipping a switch. She wasn't pretending, she was fluent. When she returned, he asked quietly, "Where did you learn all that?" Her eyes fell to the floor. "My father used to teach languages at the university. Before," she hesitated, "before he got sick. I help here now to buy his medicine." Something shifted in Richard's chest. He had come to Madrid for an investment meeting, to buy a small translation software company. But this little girl, she was a living example of what he was trying to create with technology. He leaned forward. "What's your name?" "Lucia," she said. "Lucia," he repeated, smiling gently. "You know, you remind me of myself when I was your age. Smart, determined. But life didn't make it easy." She looked up at him curiously. "You were poor, too?" He nodded. "Very, but I had someone who believed in me." For a moment, silence settled between them. 2 worlds connected by shared struggle. Then Richard reached into his jacket and took out a business card. "Tell your father to call this number. I want to help him." Lucia hesitated, her small hand trembling as she took the card. "Why would you help us?" "Because," he said softly, "I think your father already gave the world something amazing, you." A week later, Richard received a call. It was Lucia's father, weak but grateful. Within days, Richard arranged for his treatment at a private clinic, all expenses paid. Months passed. The next time he visited Madrid, the same café felt brighter. Lucia was behind the counter, reading an English novel, her face glowing with joy. When she saw him walk in, she rushed forward, hugging him tightly. "Mi papá está bien. He's teaching again." Richard smiled, a lump forming in his throat. "That's wonderful, Lucia." She looked up, eyes shining. "He says you changed our lives." Richard shook his head slowly. "No, Lucia. You changed mine."